Hello, thank you for watching this video. Now I'm going to give you an explanation of an appropriate teaching method which applies to teaching EFL students based on the context, given that will be further elaborate in the presentation. Before starting, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Fadel Paturusi. So without any further, let's get started. Okay, to begin with, let me briefly explain about the teaching context. In this case, the first point needs to be considered is the students are Indonesia senior high school students in grade 10, which in a public school in Jakarta. Next point is also need to be underlined is that the students have an advanced level of English proficiency and actively participate in the classroom. The third point that many of them like listening to Western song, watching Western movies, and listening to talks in English. The fourth point is that is is found that they have more motivation to learn English because they expect to have some interesting listening activities. In addition, the teacher in this context is asked to teach the skills of English that are listening and vocabulary. And as for the number of students, the class is in the form of a big group which consists of 30 students. Okay, based on the teaching context, we believe that the best method to use in such condition like that is TBLT or text-based language teaching. There are several reasons why I choosing TBLT as my teaching method. Because first, the teaching method is focused on the teacher teach by giving the task to the students as the core of planning and instruction, which it can give the learning activities to students. Second, vocabulary items taught were made on the basic of principle that is in line with the other thing required in this context, which is English knowledge vocabulary. Third, since the students have an advanced level of English proficiency and actively participate in the classroom, they require an activity to arrive at an outcome from given information through some process of thought, and which allowed teachers to control and regulate. That process was regarded as a task. So they focus on process and interacting communicatively and purposely while engaged in the activities and tasks. Last, related to the condition in which the students like listening to Western song, watching Western movies, and listening to talk in English. So you can use realia, newspapers, television, internet, or such that. The teacher can facilitate them to listening and find the vocabulary since the topic of lesson was discovery and invention. For example, we want to discover an invent species of deep sea crab that was just found. So all we need to do is facilitate by giving a video that related to the topic to make them listen. And after that, we ask them to find the vocabulary from the video that we have just facilitated. Okay, based on the context given, listening and vocabulary are requirements for the skill and system. Therefore, I will explain the principle of teaching listening, which will be followed by the explanation of teaching vocabulary. First, teaching of listening, principle of teaching listening. First, encourage students to listen as often as much as possible. Teachers should give the students listen often as much as possible to make them understand what the topic is talking about, and they can also find the vocabulary when listening. Second, help students prepare to listen. Teachers should help the students prepare to listen, which you have now reached the stage where you wish to students to listen and find the vocabulary in the text, rather than just give students 10 minutes to prepare. Give students guided preparation time. A simple preparation guide for the task could be a few key questions like, what will the vocabulary words that you find when listening? What topics are you going to listen about? And how are you going to understand topic when listening? Third ones may not be enough. The teacher must give the students to listen more than one take or more than one video that talks about discovery and invention to make the more listening, understanding, and can find the vocabulary in the video. Fourth, encourage students to respond the content of the listening, not just to the language. The teacher should give the students to respond the content of a listening, means what they content talking about when they're listening in the video that we have give them to listen. So not only respond to the language. Plus, different listening stage demand different listening tasks. Okay, when the teacher give listening stage to the students, we need to make listening tasks which is different. So we need to assign students to do a related listening activity. For example, if students heard the explanation from the video, ask them to write down in the paper what words they have just found and listen from the video. Okay, now principle of teaching vocabulary. Teachers use inductive approach to help students. Teachers apply the inductive approach can be more engaging for some other students as they actively participate in understanding the meaning, as they are required to use the context to help them learn new words. For example, after we play the video and ask the students to listen the video and find the vocabulary words, we ask by point the pictures in the video and ask them, can you get what it is? That question to make them find the word that related to the question. Okay, and last but not least, the lesson stage or lesson plan. The course is listening and vocabulary, and the topic of the lesson is discovery and invention. The media used will be pictures and video projector because of the students like listening, interested in listening activities, and actively participate in the classroom. The lesson objective are to listening and understanding to learn the new meaning of the words, listening the discovery and invention in the using the videos given, and find the vocabularies given in the video. The lesson plan that is used is ESA, engage, study, activate. As you can see from the lesson plan on PPT, there is an ESA, and let's say the lesson time is 50 minutes divided by 10, 20, 20, 10 for engage, 20 for active, and 20 more for study. Okay, as you can see for engage stage, using the picture or the video projector for the students to guess what discovery and invention is in the target language and the source language. For example, will, roda, telepon, explain and ask the students to find, understand, and learn the meaning of the word to the students. Then ask one of the students to name the what vocabulary they found as the topic of lesson in either the source language or target language. Okay, now active stage. In this stage, there are two activities. First, make a group of 5 consisting of 6 students each. Ask them to do a jigsaw task with each of their own words from finding in the pictures and video of discovery and invention. Then ask them to combining different pieces of information to form a whole. Okay, now study stage. There are two activities. Create a table of discovery and invention in the source language. Ask the students to find the word that related to discovery and invention in the target language. Then ask them to write down the words that they have found in target language. Okay, so this is the sample of material that use pictures and video from YouTube. Since the topic of lesson is about discovery and invention. Well, I think that's all for me. Thank you.